Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to Game Watch. Today we'll be looking at 10 games releasing this month that I think you should keep your eyes on. So grab a beer, adjust your gaming chair and relax. We're starting off our list with Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. The game's a third-person action shooter set 100 years after the original Space Marine that released all the way back in 2011. You will be playing as Demetrian Titus, a lieutenant of the Ultramarine 2nd Company and a genetically enhanced super soldier. The game's campaign can be played as a single-player experience or with up to 3 players via a multiplayer mode. The game will have several enemies swarming you at any given time, and you'll have a variety of weapons at your disposal as well as special abilities. There's also a co-op mode called Operations that will see you teaming up with other players. There are 6 different classes that you can choose from, and you can fully customize your character to make them your own. Finally, there's a 6v6 multiplayer mode called Eternal War, so if PvP is your thing, Space Marine 2 has you covered. The game releases on the 9th of September on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, as well as PC. There are 3 editions of the game that you can pick up, which include Early Access, a Season Pass, as well as a few other goodies. There was a 4th Collector's Edition, but this seems to be sold out everywhere. Not all games need combat in order for you to enjoy yourself, and I think that's going to be the case with our next title, Caravan SandWitch. You'll be exploring a sci-fi based world named Sigilo, looking for your missing sister with the help of your trusty yellow van. You'll be acquiring new tools in your journey and upgrading your van along the way. There appears to be some woodlands, desert areas, as well as ancient ruins, so hopefully the van's suspension can handle all of these terrains. So again, there's no combat, no ways to die, and there's no rush or time on how you want to explore the world. People within Sigilo will still require your help to perform tasks, whether that be on foot or in your van. Now remember, Sigilo is a hostile environment being occupied by humans, robots, and aboriginal species, as well as unknown beings known as the SandWitch. And as the main character, you can bet you'll be carrying out tasks for all of them. Caravan SandWitch releases on the 12th of September on Steam, PS5 and Nintendo Switch. And just an FYI for the physical collectors, this game's only releasing digitally. How do you feel about using a chainsaw to mow through hordes of zombies? If that sounds good, then let me introduce you to LOLLIPOP Chainsaw RePOP. RePOP is a hack and slash title and a remaster of the original LOLLIPOP Chainsaw released back in 2012. But what differentiates this remaster and the original, and why should you buy it? Well, there's a new RePOP mode that displays less violence on screen, being replaced with more colourful damaging effects. But don't worry, as this game mode is completely optional and you can toggle between RePOP and the original. The PS5, Xbox Series and Steam versions will support 4K and 60 FPS, with the Switch supporting Full HD and 30 FPS. There'll also be shorter load times as well as a ton of quality of life changes. All of these are listed on their website if you're interested in finding out more. This game will also release on the 12th of September on the PS5, Xbox Series, Steam and Nintendo Switch. But I have some bad news, physical collectors, as this is only being released digitally. Limited Run Games were producing some physical copies, but these have now been completely sold out. The original LOLLIPOP Chainsaw sells for a pretty penny these days, so if you didn't experience the game the first time around, you've got the option of the remaster. Are you ready for another Souls-like? Well, I know I am. Enotria, the last song, is a Souls-like that's been painted with reds, browns and yellows. They've taken inspiration from Italian folklore and described the game as a sunlit version of the Souls games. You'll be playing as the maskless one, who will be doing battle with the authors to free the world from stagnation. The game will have 3 main regions that you'll be able to explore, boasting over 100 different enemies and over 40 hours of gameplay. Now, these 3 statements have really got my attention, as Souls-likes are my favourite genre, and I'll definitely be reviewing Enotria on its release. I'm hoping that the majority of these 100 enemies aren't just reskins, but we'll have to wait and see. There are over 30 different masks that you can wear, which will change your playstyle, 68 unlockable perks and over 120 weapons. Now, there has been some issues with the developers Jammer Games and Microsoft. Because of this, Enotria has been indefinitely delayed on the Xbox. The game will release on the 19th of September on the PS5 and PC, with physical copies being released in late October. You can pick these up for approximately $50 or £40. There is one more game releasing this month that also features zombies as well as a chainsaw. That's of course Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, and try saying that 10 times in a row after having a few drinks. This is an action-adventure title that will see you slaughtering zombies, rescuing survivors, and trying to uncover the curse of the outbreak. You'll still be playing as the iconic Frank West, but what changes is there to the remaster that warrants your money in comparison to the 2006 release? Well, there's been a complete graphical overhaul, so character models, environments and textures are looking much better. The game supports up to 4K resolution and 60 FPS. There's also been some quality of life changes, including a fully voice acted cast, auto saves, as well as the controls being reworked. worked. Dead Rising releases on the 19th of September on the Xbox Series, PS5 and Steam. A physical version is being released in November, and this will probably be the version that I pick up. There's the standard version of the game as well as the digital deluxe, which grants frank access to 17 more costumes and some bonus music tracks. The standard will cost you £40 or $50, with the deluxe at £50 or $65. For those of you into city building survival based games, I'd imagine Frostpunk 2 is on your wish list. Frostpunk 2 is set within a post-apocalyptic snowy world in which you play as the steward. As the steward, you're essentially in charge and responsible for ensuring the city can thrive and grow, as well as manage the needs and demands of the people. This means that resources like coal, oil and food are essentials for keeping your people warm and with food in their stomachs. Frostpunk 2 will feature 2 game modes. You'll have the story mode, which will span over multiple chapters, as well as Utopia Builder, which is a sandbox mode. Here you'll have an infinite amount of time to build and develop your own city. You'll be building homes for people to live, a city hall in order for you to create laws, as well as creating new colonies by leaving the city and exploring the vast Frostlands. Frostpunk 2 releases on the 20th of September on the PS5, PC and the Xbox Series. But there's even better news for the Xbox players, as this will be a day one release on Game Pass. The game will be released digitally with no physical copies in the works. Disney fans also have a game to look forward to in Epic Mickey Rebrushed. The game is a 3D platformer that equips Mickey with a magic brush that serves as a weapon. Yes, you heard me correctly. Mickey will be tackling enemies, bosses and side quests as he's had enough of playing Mr. Nice Guy. The game places you in a wasteland that's full of classic Disney characters, and you'll be using your brush to restore parts of the environment as well as uncover hidden locations. The game is a remake of Epic Mickey, which released back in 2010. With Rebrushed, you can expect improved graphics, with the game now running on the Unreal Engine, new abilities including a dash, ground pound and sprinting. So basically the game's just had a fresh coat of paint. I'm sorry, that was simply terrible. But moving on, there's some replayability factor with the game having multiple endings, and these will depend on which decisions you make while playing through the story. Oh, and also Oswald's in the game, and I hear people quite like that guy. The game releases on the 24th of September on all platforms, and yes, that includes you PS4 and Xbox One players. There is a demo that you can download, so why not give it a try and see if it's a game that you'd be interested in. The next game we'll be looking at is Shadows of Doubt, which is a first-person detective stealth game. You'll be working as a private investigator within an 80s based sci-fi world. There's evidence to be gathered, cases to be solved and money to be made. There's hundreds of NPCs that have unique names, jobs, houses and habits. You may have to acquire these details in a more overt fashion by breaking into their apartments, reading through their private documents as well as watching CCTV, but all that matters is that you obtain the evidence to build your case, and how you obtain it is up to you. The graphics may remind you of a certain Minecraft, well the blocky player models and textures did for me anyways. Shadows of Doubt is currently out on Steam as an early access title, but is coming to the PS5 and Xbox Series on the 26th of September. The early access version has been well received by the Steam player base, currently sitting at a very positive rating. The devs have confirmed that a physical copy is in the works for both consoles. It wouldn't be right to not feature a Nintendo Switch exclusive on my first episode of Game Watch, so ladies and gents, I present to you The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. In this game, Link's taking a backseat and will actually be playing as Zelda. The land of Hyrule is having a rift problem, with these strange rifts popping up all over the lands. The people of Hyrule as well as Link have been taken away by these rifts, and Zelda will have to team up with a fairy known as Tri to save the kingdom. You'll be given access to the Tri-Rod, which allows Zelda to create echoes. Now echoes are copies of objects found within the game world like beds, tables and crates, and these will allow Zelda to platform and reach tricky areas. Zelda can summon combat based echoes to fight enemies as well as boss battles. These rifts will have platforming elements, and you'll have an ability called Bind that allows Zelda to drag and manipulate objects. You'll be travelling across sandy deserts and making your way through much cooler wetlands. There's a quest system, and the people of Hyrule will ask for your assistance in the form of requests. Echoes of Wisdom releases on the Switch on the 26th of September, physically and digitally. Pre-order prices for the physical copy are £43 or $56. The last game we'll be looking at is REYNATIS, an action RPG based in Shibuya, Tokyo. Shibuya has introduced a law called the Criminal Magic Response Act that prevents citizens from being out on the streets at night, but most citizens disregard this law entirely. The story has two main characters. There's Marin, a wizard who's been oppressed due to his magic-based abilities, as well as Sari, who uses her magic to protect the people of Shibuya from dangers. In battle, you'll have an offensive and defensive mode, which you'll need to switch to on the fly depending on your situation. You can also switch between characters whilst in battle, with them all having their own unique abilities. The developers have tried to recreate the city as close to real life as possible, so expect to see plenty of landmarks as you explore the city. REYNATIS releases around the world on the 27th of September, except for Australia and New Zealand, who will get it on the 4th of October. You can pick the game up on the PS4 and 5, Switch and Steam. Will you be picking up any of these releases, or were there any games that you think that I've missed out? Make sure to let me know in the comments. I will be reviewing some of these games on the channel, but I'm not sure which ones yet. Thank you for watching, and remember, I'll never be a real YouTuber until I've released an apology video, or two. That's all guys, peace out.